moments away from having it happen. And there it is. He has done it.
Just to enjoy and reflect on what a week it's been. But here comes Shakur Stevenson.
Two championship-level fighters at the peak of their careers square off in this dream matchup, delivering the kind of high-stakes drama that reminds everyone why boxing captures our attention like nothing else can.
Look at this finish from Teofimo.
Teofimo Lopez claimed victory over Josh Taylor, capturing the WBO Super Lightweight Championship and stacking another major world title onto his already impressive collection.
WBO Lineal Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, the tape!
Look what just happened here. We took down the top dog, the #1 guy holding that linear world championship belt. Josh Taylor came in as the former undisputed champion, but that didn't matter tonight. Then you've got Shakur Stevenson completely dominating William Zapata for the world title, proving once again why he's considered one of the most dangerous fighters in the division. The possibilities are endless now. This kind of showing opens up massive doors, and let's not forget Teofimo Lopez successfully defending that WBO Super Lightweight belt against Arnold Barbosa Jr., keeping his championship reign alive and showing that killer instinct round after round.
Knows that he's probably well ahead in the fight.
At the same time, Shakur Stevenson was doing his thing at the highest level, completely controlling William Zapata from start to finish, adding another statement win to his resume while proving his world champion status isn't going anywhere.
Decision, the fighting pride of Newark, New Jersey, and still the undefeated WBC lightweight champion of the world.
When it came time for Teofimo to get ready, you had Shakur Stevenson grinding in the gym with none other than Terrence Crawford watching over everything, fine-tuning every single move, perfecting each combination, and making sure everything was dialed in to perfection. That's what elite preparation looks like.
Start the year off right. What the fuck going on? We about to take this shit over. The whole family. You know that.
Shock, where Stevenson has Ronald Sims in his corner. A coach who knows exactly how to bring out the best in him, working on every little detail from technique to game plan to physical conditioning.
Let me so you can point your fingers. I say that's the bad guy. So, will I make you good? Well, yeah, King Red. We need to be pushed today. Bring this smoke, baby. That dude ain't going to Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. July 12th, demolishment. We're going to demolish it. Guys way too slow, sports too sharp, too fast, too strong.
On the flip side, Teofimo Lopez is putting in serious work at his own training facility, drilling combinations, building power, studying film, and pushing himself to new levels day after day as he gets ready for what's coming next.
Speed, and your speed. Way more motivated this time, you know what I'm saying? He's got a lot to prove. You know, he's got to defend his Ring Magazine title. You know, he's the best in the division right now. holding the ring magazine by beating Josh Taylor. So, you know, we got to go in there and, you know, keep that belt, keep that ring magazine. Every time you throw a right hand, you got to pull back, go under. It's about motion.
This potential showdown between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez is exactly what fight fans have been waiting for. Shakur understands exactly what kind of threat Lopez poses. The power he carries, the skills he brings, and the level of competition he represents. But instead of backing down, he's leaning into it, knowing that these are the feats that separate the good from the great. Shakur's been locked in at his training camp, working every angle of his game, his hand speed, his defensive mastery, his footwork, and his finishing ability, making sure when that bell rings, he's ready to handle everything Lopez can throw at him, and then some. Bozy Ennis recently dropped some real talk about Teofimo Lopez, breaking down just how dangerous Shakur Stevenson can be when he's firing on all cylinders.
I think Teo the truth, bro. I think that me and him came up together. He been the truth. He been winning tournaments after tournaments with me, alongside of me. So I know what I'm dealing with, bro. I know what type of fighter this is. I know I gotta up my level that night because of who I'm in front of.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, how do you see it, right? Because I hear people saying different things, right? Like media pundits and fans. I brought this up to your grandfather on live the other day. Some people say Teo's more athletic than you. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. It's hard to say who's more athletic. How you gonna say, okay, let's say they say he more athletic than me. If he more athletic than me, if we go outside and do any sport, any other sport besides boxing, can he beat me in it?
What you mean, like basketball or race, or running a race?
Any sport, bro. Is he more athletic than me? Because, like, how you gonna be more athletic than me? You can't do nothing better than me at any sport.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know. I wonder. I don't know. I mean, he's an athletic guy. I don't know.
I'm from the trenches, bro. I come from the hood, bro. He comes from where, bro?
He say Brooklyn, but I don't. He be saying he's from Brooklyn, though. I don't know where he's from.
From Florida.
Florida?
He's probably born in Brooklyn. Yeah. He's from Florida. But I'm just saying, like, where I come from is like the hood. I go outside, play basketball every day. I go outside, play football every day.
Yeah.
Of my life.
Yeah.
So for him to be like more athletic, okay, cool. That's what y'all call it, but
man,
I don't know. We'll see you on fight night.
How do you envision it? I mean, I'm sure you played it out in your mind a bunch of times already.
Me just making a great fighter look average. That's how I see it.
Are you gonna fight like the Zepeda way? Because that was the first time we seen you fight like that.
I can't tell you how I'm gonna fight. I fight different styles for different people.
Yeah.
So I may fight this way for this guy. I may fight the other way for another guy. But my main objective is to get the job done.
What Ennis is saying is that Stevenson's speed isn't just fast, it's the kind of speed that changes fights, letting him control distance, slip punches at the last second, and fire back with pinpoint accuracy before his opponent even knows what hit them. Ennis is making it clear that Lopez better not sleep on Stevenson's fight IQ, his ability to read situations, adjust on the fly, and stay 3 steps ahead mentally throughout the entire fight. Every single thing Stevenson does in there has a purpose behind it, from his defensive positioning, to his counterpunching, to his ring generalship, and that makes him incredibly difficult to figure out. Any fighter stepping in with him needs to bring their A-game and be ready to problem solve under pressure, because one wrong move can turn the whole fight upside down. What Ennis is really getting at is that Stevenson has this ability to take over fights, neutralize whatever his opponent does best, and find ways to exploit even the smallest mistakes they make. This kind of heads-up should remind everyone that at this level of boxing, raw talent only gets you so far. You need the right approach, the right mindset, and the ability to execute when it matters most. And Stevenson brings all of that every single time.
Pick him apart, man. Pick him apart. And I gotta tell everybody that Wichcombe is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all. Nah. Teofimo can punch. and he can box. And like I said, and he's real athletic. So, you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, you know, they've got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like Boots, you know, they box heavyweights and put heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then it all according how Teal come in. If Teal come at him, you know what I mean? He's gonna run into some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now, you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So, could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just like I said, speed is power. You know, not them guys, you know, muscle bound guys come in and you tell them, oh, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact. The punch that you don't see knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about. I mean, then you got to look at this. Shakur, he got speed. He a technician, man. He know what he's doing, man.
Roy Jones Jr. breaks down the difference between how fighters carried themselves back in the day versus what we see now, especially when it comes to respect, professionalism, and what it really meant to be a champion. For Jones, boxing was always about more than just winning fights or looking good doing it. It was about proving something deeper about who you were as a person, your discipline, your character, and your code of honor. Fighters were supposed to handle their business with class, give props to their opponents, respect their trainers, and the history of the sport, while still making it crystal clear that they weren't to be messed with. Jones talks about how old-school fighters built their reputation on being complete packages, combining serious skills and ring intelligence with a sense of duty to represent the sport the right way. They knew that being a real champion meant earning respect through actions, not just talking and standing up for what they believed in when it mattered. Today's boxing scene can get caught up in social media drama, trash talk, and creating buzz, sometimes losing sight of what made the sport special in the first place. But Jones believes that no matter how much the game changes, the fundamentals stay the same. Treating people right, being accountable for your actions, and never backing down from your principle. At the end of the day, he thinks a fighter's real legacy comes down to more than just wins and losses. It's about the respect you earned, the character you showed, and how you carried yourself when nobody was watching.
To announce the fight. I don't understand the press conference. Shakur Stevenson looked confused about the press conference. Teofimo Lopez is known for saying outlandish things, but I've noticed over the last couple years, he's making less and less sense when he speaks. Like, the types of things that he's saying at the press conference are just unnecessary. The things that he's saying and the way he's saying it, I don't know if it's nervous energy. I don't know if he's just trying to get a rise out of these cameras and people online so they can talk about him. I really don't know what it is, but I don't understand why guys do things like that. What does that have to do with the fight? What does that have to do with boxing? Only thing you might accomplish out of that is making Shakur Stevenson mad, and he try to make you pay for that come fight night on January 31st. I don't get that kind of stuff. See, we'll look at stuff like that and we'll laugh at it in the sport of boxing, and we won't say that that's affecting boxing or hurting boxing. We'll just say that's just the way fighters are. But we'll get mad at a Jake Paul and we'll say that he's ruining boxing because you don't like Jake Paul or the things that he says or the fact that he's making money in a space that he didn't grow up in. To me, these are the kind of things. Press conferences like that, when you got Teofimo Lopez saying some of the things that he said, that's the kind of stuff that give boxing and fighters a black eye. That's why when we walk in a room and people know that you fought for a living or you currently fight for a living, they expect a certain type of thing. They look at you a certain type of way, and you almost gotta prove that you're not that to be able to get some respect when you're speaking to people, because they don't expect us to be people who are sensible, people that can articulate their words, people that can be sensible about how they go about their everyday life. So I personally, listen, everybody goes about this fight thing, this competition thing different. I'm not saying nobody has to be like me, got to be like you or anybody else. be yourself. But that kind of stuff, to me, I don't really see a place for it in the sport of boxing. It don't make sense. It got everybody scratching their head, and your opponent who came there to talk to you about this fight, he wants to hear what you got to say about what you're going to do to him and vice versa. But you got an opponent in Shakur Stevenson who's confused now. He literally was looking around like the look that Shakur Stevenson had on his face was, I did not come here for this. And I think he even said, I really don't know what to say about it. That don't make for a good press conference to me.
Yeah, I know. But see, this is what I try to tell you about. I know y'all don't hear me a lot of time when I say it. There's old school and there's new school. Old school has something like that been said, they would not have allowed us to be able to come face to face. Because you don't say it to me and think I ain't gonna try to tear your head off as soon as I get close to you.
Well, so you're not gonna wait till a fight night. You're gonna get it in that day.
Because some things are too because sometimes you go a little bit beyond respect. That's disrespectful. If you disrespect me on any level, we fighting then. Now I'm gonna try to hold it together but if you disrespect me, which is what he just did, I'm not gonna ask him about what he's talking about. When I get close enough, I'm finna show him what I ain't talking about. You understand where I'm coming from? So there's a difference. That's why I say you gotta know the difference from the old school and the new school. Had he said that in my day, they could not. I would tell him, listen, whatever y'all do, don't let me get close to him. Because if I get close to him.
Chris Algieri talks about why it's so important for top-level fighters to actually fight each other, even when there's everything to lose and the stakes couldn't be higher. For him, boxing isn't about playing it safe, protecting your record, or taking easy fights just to stay busy. It's about finding out what you're really made of when you're in there with someone who can actually hurt you, someone who's going to test every part of your game and expose any weaknesses you might have. These kinds of fights force you to get better in ways you never would otherwise, pushing your technique, your strategy, your mental game, and your physical conditioning to places they've never been before. When you face elite competition, you find out who you really are as a fighter, separating the pretenders from the real deal. Sure, you can keep your record clean by avoiding tough fights, but that doesn't build the kind of reputation or legacy that lasts. Real champions are remembered for the risks they took, the battles they fought, and the way they handled themselves when everything was on the line, learning and growing from every experience, whether they won or lost. For Algieri, this is what boxing is all about. Those moments when everything you've worked for comes down to who wants it more, who's prepared better, and who can execute when the lights are brightest, creating the kind of memories that make the sport legendary.
Each other. Let's have guys take the risk, and let's be okay with fighters having losses. How about that? Guys can have losses and still be at the top of the game. Why not? So this is a really important fight, I think, for the health of the sport. You have gone on record several times saying it's not going to be the best fight or, burning, raging fight, whatever. I think it's going to be an awesome fight because of the level. And it's one of those fights you're just like on the edge of your seat because it's so tight. Are they going to throw a million punches? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think the level is going to be so high, it's going to overshadow that they're not that busy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, you don't have to. You follow the sport, and it's not going to be like some type of shootout. But it's very important. I did say that numerous times. This is a very important fight. The Shakur wins. I think he belongs in the top 5 to 7 in pound for pound.
Shane Mosley emphasized.
Here's the thing about any major fight. It all comes down to what each fighter brings to the table on that particular night, not what people are saying about them beforehand. What really matters is the power they can generate, how fast they can move, whether they can stay patient when things get tough, and how well they can adjust when their original game plan isn't working. A fighter's ability to read what's happening in real time, switch up their approach mid-fight, and take advantage of opportunities as they come up usually decides who walks away with the win, not their reputation or how much noise their fans make. This perspective keeps everyone grounded about what boxing really is. It's not about who talks the loudest or has the most followers. It's a chess match where one wrong move can end everything. How well you prepared, how mentally tough you are, and how you handle adversity matter just as much as how hard you can punch or how fast you can move. And thinking someone is going to be easy because of what you heard outside the gym is a quick way to get hurt. Bottom line, boxing greatness gets proven between those ropes when it's just you and your opponent, one round at a time.
I don't know if Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and can make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where like the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that, well, maybe, I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, you know, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, you know, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Catch you next time for more boxing coverage.